Hey everybody, it is Alex.
And I'm Matt.
We are here at Powder7 World Headquarters in Golden, and we are chatting about all mountain skis today, our all mountain ski picks from our 2023 buyer's guide. So we hosted our Powder7 ski test last spring, so we got some staffers out on 2023 gear, and these are some of the top picks from that.
And they're all mountain skis, so everybody wants to hear about them.
Yeah, this is roughly 88 to 100-ish underfoot, so great amount of versatility there. Quick enough to maneuver around on piste and on groomers, but still plenty of platform if you do get a little bit of soft snow.
Yeah, there are more directional, demanding skis in this category that perform more like carvers, and then there are more softer, more playful smear skis that perform more like all-mountain freestyle or powder skis.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting category, and the first ski is pretty exciting. It's the Salomon QST 98. Guilty as charged, we did name this ski a year ago as one of our top picks in the all-mountain category. We try to be different, but our staff freaked out about
It's just
this
so
ski.
good.
It's so good. So it comes back unchanged. In the men's side, the women's version is the Lumen 98, which now matches the construction of the men's 98 in like a fresh minty top sheet that you gotta check out.
It's very pretty.
So QST 98, a couple of Salomon's design flares here, double sidewall underfoot, so you get more torsional rigidity, a little bit more power, nice sturdy feel under your foot, a lot of tip taper, cork inserts, corked amplifier in your tips and your tails to absorb vibrations and really smooth out the ride. People around the shop who have loved the QST 98 range from bigger dudes who just ski super fast to guys who are smaller and lighter, who like to butter, play, slice through the trees, hit airs. So we've found that people across the skiing style spectrum love the QST 98. I have pretty much no complaints with this ski. I would take it out on most days, on most mountains as a daily driver, and be pretty stoked.
One thing that a lot of testers noted was how much energy the ski has. Kind of when you're transitioning in between turns, there's this awesome rebound that the ski gives you. So it just makes skiing everywhere, all over the mountain, a little bit more fun. Adds a little bit more flair to it.
And that's what we're doing here. Fun.
Fun. We like fun skis.
And this is one of them.
Yeah. Another fun ski, although admittedly a little bit different, is the Rossignol Rallybird 92 and the Rossignol Sender 94 Ti. These skis were actually around last year, but Rossignol's kind of done a little bit of a rebrand. So this was the former Stargazer, and the men's used to be the Escaper. Really similar constructions, just kind of under a new name. The Senders and the Rallybirds are kind of identified as free ride directional. So instead of like a huge amount of tip and tail rocker like you see in the QST 98, you get a slightly, still rockered, but slightly flatter tail for elongated, effective edge. Sorry, Matt. What I really love about this ski is just how smooth it is. You can transition from snow condition, like soft edgeable groomer to sharp scraped off icy patch, and you hardly notice a thing. Rossignol adds a bunch of, they call damp tech to this ski, as well as the air tech in the tips. If you remember the old 7 series, there used to be that honeycomb design. Something similar, but a little bit more planted. So it has a really low swing weight, really easygoing and easy to maneuver, really quick and nimble underfoot. It feels really responsive in tight places like trees and bumps. And again, just that smooth transition just makes this feel like a very easygoing ski that you can also push a little bit harder if you want to.
I was pretty surprised at how fast I could ski it and still feel solid and confident.
Totally.
Yeah.
It kind of surprises you. It's very easygoing right off the bat, but then you start to push it a little bit more and it feels pretty much the same. So.
And that's how you make it into our top picks.
Yeah, totally. Great appeal across a bunch of different skier types.
Yeah. So the next ski we're going to talk about is absent today. We just don't have a physical one on hand yet, so sorry for that. There should be a photo of it popping up on the screen right now. Ding. It's the Line Blade Optic 96. So we've named the Blade Optic in another one of our videos, Big Mountain Freeride. The new series, the waist widths from Line are 92, 96, 104, 114. And so the new Blade Optics are basically a smash up of the Line Vision, a lightweight freeride ski, and the Blade, which is like a funky futuristic looking ski with metal cutouts. So the Blade Optic matches the playful profile of the Vision with that gas pedal metal from the Blade. So it looks really funny. It's like a Blade Runner deal with metal laminate with cutouts. So basically that's designed to keep the ski with a fairly light swing weight and a smooth suspension and a playful profile with some backbone that metal gives you. When I skied the Blade Optic, I was really happy there was metal, and it's not like, don't think of it as a metal ski in a way that's really intimidating, I would say. The 96 feels really playful. It's great for bumps. The metal keeps you planted to your line, but deep rocker lines and a pretty playful profile, a little more playful than like the old Sick Day, but maybe not as tapered as like a QST. Really blends performance of like an all-mountain freestyle ski and a bit of a stronger all-mountain kind of directional ski. It's a really nice blend. You skied it too.
Yeah, I was on the 96, and I was actually on a size a little bit longer than what I would normally ski for my all-mountain kind of ski, like something a little bit shorter for dealing with bumps and trees and that kind of terrain. But I was super happy with the extra length. It's very easy to ski. Even though it has metal in it, I wouldn't call it demanding. Very easy to kind of cruise around with, and yeah, very intuitive.
Yeah.
Really quick also, very responsive.
Believe it or not, we will have the physical skis. They're on our site.
Eventually.
Yeah, so check them out.
Yeah. Now switching from playful to on the more demanding side of things, this is one of my favorite skis of all time. This is the Salomon Stance W. Does have a slightly different construction than the men's version. The Stance 96, slightly different blend of wood cores, but the Salomon rep actually told me that this was his favorite model of all across them, just because there's a lot of pop and snap to this. This has a very directional shape, pretty flat tail, and a very silly amount of camber there. So you can see this is going to be really springy, really stable when you flex the ski on when you're carving it. And yeah, a little bit of tail rocker just to be able to release it when you need to, but again, directional shape. And not a ton of tip rocker either. This thing definitely wants to be driven a little bit more than like your Blade Optic or even a Rallybird 92, but that just gives you a super stable ride and you can really ski it fast. If you come from a background of liking to take big, fast turns, this is a great option for you. But at the same time, I was really impressed with, you can release it out of a turn if you need to. I actually took this ski to Alta last year and skied it everywhere. Normally in steep stuff, I like to have something with a little bit more tail rocker, just to make it a little bit more forgiving. But this thing was able to whip around when I needed to. And it also edges really nicely into like that steep, crusty stuff. So, plus that poplar Karuba core, again, just so much fun. Big spring, big rebound when you're taking turns and stuff. So, yeah, I love this one.
Well, another standard in this category, this is like a more demanding side all-mountain ski. Nordica Enforcer, real original, right? Enforcer's been around a while. It was actually voted by our fans as the ski of the decade when it hit 2020. And we're still talking about the Enforcer, so sorry for not being original. But Nordica's flagship ski is back unchanged except for new top sheet graphics per usual. Nothing crazy or new going on here, just time-tested performance. That's like a marketing line.
Yeah.
I should scratch that from the script. Anyway, we've been skiing it for a long time. It's really good. So 2 sheets of metal full throughout this ski. So like in Blade Optic, you see those metal cutouts. A lot of other skis are trying to shed weight, shed that heft by cutting out some of the metal, not the Enforcer. 2 full sheets of metal, pretty directional profile down here through the tails, very modest tail rocker, and then you've got some nice tip rocker, and some fairly softer flexing tips for a ski with 2 full sheets of metal, which is why so many people find the Enforcer both demanding but fairly easy to engage if you stay on it. So the Enforcer will punish you if you get backseat in bumps or trees or tight chutes. I would not call it like an intermediate ski, but if you're a pretty athletic person and you're either a really stoked intermediate or an advanced or expert skier and you can really stay on the Enforcer, it can do everything you want it to do. If you like to release your tails a little bit more, that's when you're the kind of skier who's looking for that Enforcer 104 free, which we mentioned in our big mountain video, for a little bit more of a playful ride. Really, the Enforcer is what a lot of guys and ladies think about when they think just a really solid all-mountain ski, right? It's sturdy, pretty easy to engage if you are pretty strong and savvy, and good across the whole mountain in a wide variety of conditions, if this is your ski style.
Yeah, so, totally. Yeah. Switch into some of our familiar favorites. This is another kind of really popular ski we've seen throughout the years, the Rustler. This is the Rustler 10. There's also a Rustler 9, which is about 90-ish underfoot. This is about 100-ish underfoot, depending on the length. And then a Rustler 11 as well, which is going to be more like 110. There's also a women's option, the Sheeva. Very similar, slightly thinner wood core, but they're going to feel the same. The Rustler is really unique with this kind of partial sheet of metal that they run through the ski. It kind of tapers off as you get into the tip and tail, and then you've got a softer tip and tail to add a little bit of play, add a little bit of forgiveness, and make it a little bit easier to engage. But just a really versatile shape and construction. That metal gives you a little bit of power if it gets a little scrapier if you want to ski faster, but a little bit more tail rocker than an Enforcer or the Stockli Stormrider or a Stance. So a little bit more forgiving and more playful on the bumps and trees and things like that. This is just a great, super versatile option that people always keep going back to.
Yeah, it kind of set the mark for being a ski that's playful and also strong with metal. And now a bunch of skis are that way, but the Rustler is kind of the OG.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Tried and true.
Tried and true. Next up, Stockli Stormrider 95. We also named this ski a year ago. This would be a familiar favorites on our blog version of the buyer's guide. It's barely long enough for me. I really prefer a longer size. Anyway, Stormrider 95 from Stockli. Very directional shape. If you know anything about Stockli, they're fast skis, Swiss-made, premium materials. We think about Stockli out of the brands we carry a lot like Kesley. Very primo skis that optimize performance across the mountain in what each ski is designed to do. So basically the Stormrider 95 is the middle ski in the Stormrider collection. It's got lighter weight kind of free ride tip design, which they introduced into Stormrider 2 years ago. And that gives the 95 that easy skiing, slightly smearable feel in its tips. It'll help you link up turns, whether you're carving, hitting bumps, or finessing your way down back bowls. But it's also a very stout, strong ski through the center and then down through these tapered tails. So the Stormrider 102 kind of brings more of a free ride flavor into the tails. The 95 hits the middle spot where the tails stay really stout and strong, kind of more like they're like laser series in a way, where if you're carving, they're going to hold on to an edge through your carved turn and then give you a lot of energy packed into the next turn. And then the tips, a little bit more free ridey, which is really what a lot of people are looking for in a 95 waisted ski. Personally, I think the 95 Stormrider does everything on hard snow and groomers at speeds, as well as a favorite like the Vogel Mantra, but then it adds a little more free ride flavor to give you probably unmatched versatility in this category. It's demanding. I would say it's less demanding than the Enforcer, just because it has a little bit more free ride flavor to it, while it can still kind of almost do everything that those Enforcers do, in my opinion. So when we named the Stormrider a year ago, people probably would have been really mad if we didn't name it. So maybe this is like us being afraid to not talk about it, but from our staff skiing it, us spending a bunch of days on it, Stormrider 95 holds up. One of the best all-mountain skis money can buy.
Totally. I think folks here, once they get on it, are actually a little bit surprised, just because we kind of assume it's going to be a stout, carving-oriented ski, but it's actually, like you said, not as demanding as you might expect. But at the same time, it's got that Stockli Swiss suspension, so it's just incredibly smooth riding, again, kind of similar to the Rossignol skis, just like transitions between snow conditions really seamlessly.
Yeah, for sure.
So
on the ladies' side, Nella.
The Nella 96 would be the equivalent to this, and it's got a slightly different construction, slightly thinner and whatnot, thinner core, but I think skis very similarly to what the Stormrider would be, same shape, that kind of softer, more airable tip and then a flatter tail. I loved it. Yeah, it's got great suspension. You can just blast through all sorts of stuff with it. So
heck yeah. All right, what's next?
Well, I've got a 2023 ski here, a brand new one.
Woo!
Woohoo! So this is the Nordica Unleashed 98. This one's pretty exciting. So this one kind of replaces the Soul Rider from Nordica. It's got that really twin-tipped shape to it. So, and a pretty centered mount point as well. So they actually take the terrain-specific metal from the Nordica Santa Ana series, which is the complement to the Enforcer. Basically, the terrain-specific metal removes metal from kind of different parts of the ski to give you a slightly softer flex while still maintaining stability kind of in the tip and then underfoot. So you get a slightly softer flexing, more playful construction with this much more playful shape, but it still has metal in it, so you can still kind of get that to bite into the snow compared to, you know, something a little bit softer and a little bit more noodly. But this is a very playful ski, easy to pivot, easy to slash, easy to kind of, you know, work your way through bumps, and is a great option, I think, for someone who is looking for a playful ski that still has a lot of support for stomping landings or dealing with like scraped off icy conditions.
If I'm trying to pick between Enforcer 104 Free and Unleashed, or Santa Ana and Unleashed, what's your take?
Yeah, I think this one's probably a little bit easier to ski just because it's got a little less metal in it. It's going to be a little bit softer flexing. The 98 in particular is also going to be a little bit quicker just because you've got a narrower waist width underneath you. So it's going to be a little bit better suited for all mountain conditions rather than like more off-piste, big mountainy free ride conditions, if that makes sense.
Sweet.
The women's version is exactly the same, just a different top sheet.
And to round us out here, I believe, I've got another 2023 spotlight, and that's K2 Mindbender. This is the 99 Ti. So for 22-23, K2 overhauled the Mindbender TIs. So on the men's side, we actually take some of the technology from the Women's Alliance skis, the Aspen Veneer Core, and put it into these skis. There's also more metal. Specifically, it runs all the way through the contact points, which you can kind of see this metal laminate kind of cut out on the top sheets. The skis come in 100 grams heavier, but they're also a little bit more rockered through the tails, which have a directional shape, but more rocker. So you've got a little more metal and a little bit more rocker. Basically, K2 wants these skis to hold up across a wider variety of snow types. So you're thinking like all mountain free ride type ski, almost 100 millimeters underfoot. K2 wanted to make them a little more playful with those smearier tails, and then at the same time a little bit burlier for mixed up snow like crud, refrozen chop, groomers. It's an awesome ski in bumps. It stays very planted to your line. You know, a lot of people really enjoy releasable tails in bumps because it's how you slough your speed really quick without getting off your line. So this is one of my favorites for doing that for 2023, and our testers at our ski test back that up for sure.
I think that pretty much wraps up our 2023 top picks. Yeah. A lot of new stuff, a lot of stuff to be excited about. We will have a complete rundown of all of this in our kind of printed buyer's guide on the Liftline blog. You can head down to the description for a link for that. We've got like little quotes in there and a little bit more information and a bunch of pretty pictures too from our ski test day.
And if you want more videos, which includes comparisons, other buyer's guide type stuff, you can smash the subscribe button down in the description. And we're going to keep it coming throughout the winter.
Yeah, stay tuned.